Footy Vlogs, and we've another weekend review show. Cian Menton, how's it going? You well?
How are you, bud, Ari?
I'm good. We'll start off with Bowls and Dundalk, because on paper that was the game of the weekend, and it finished Bowls 2, Dundalk 1. Grant and Buckley for Bowls, Duffy for Dundalk. Not only on paper, but I think in terms of quality, it turned out to be the game of the weekend, didn't it?
Easily the best game of the weekend. Really, really good quality. Especially neutrals looking at it, or people looking at the game, I think they'd be very impressed with it. Fantastic game. Now, I have to say. Now, I thought Bowls were well-deserved winners. They bossed the game in my eyes. Dundalk kind of got one. I wouldn't say against the run of play, but it was kind of undeserved. Bowls looked comfortable. I even think at 2-1, I don't really think Dundalk were actually going to score. I think they bossed the game. I was very impressed with the way Keith Buckley played in the middle, and it was a workmanship performance from Bowles, and that's what you're going to get from them every day. But on the other side, where you look at Dundalk now, obviously they've dropped points again. Not a great performance, but look, we're only back from the restart. It's only a couple of games in. I think people are jumping a little bit to conclusions. If anyone thinks that Dundalk team isn't up there with the best in Ireland still, up there with the likes of Rovers, there's something wrong. People are saying all sorts of stuff. I'm reading about Vinny and stuff. Look, I know what it's like. It's very frustrating when Pats were up there for years and was dropping, and it is, you get annoyed, but I think it's a bit too soon for Dundalk fans to be jumping to conclusions.
As you say, there's no doubt in their quality. I think from Dundalk's point of view, the bright spark for me was Kolovich. At times maybe he was trying a bit too hard, or maybe trying to do it by himself, but he did set up Duffy's goal, and I thought he was fairly bright. The thing I've noticed about Dundalk in the two games, if you look at the two games since we've come back, there seems to be a big gap between their defence for some reason, their back four and their midfield. They're leaving holes everywhere.
Yeah.
And Bowles really exposed that. I don't know how Bowles didn't score more in the second half, by the way. After Hubin's chance to hit the bar, which, could have went in, Bowles basically dominated, certainly chances-wise. Forget about possession, and football isn't about possession. Chances-wise, Bowles dominated. They looked like they were going to score nearly every time they came forward in that second half.
Yeah.
And it just looked like the Dundalk defence had no protection for me. They were flat-footed. It was all one-on-one stuff. You know what I mean? And I noticed that against Pats as well. Dundalk, I don't know what it is, but they're definitely leaving a big gap between that midfield and defence. I'm not really sure why.
I'm looking back on the year Cork won the double here, and all these questions were coming up about Dundalk again. I remember they played down in Turners and they got beaten, and I think Paddy Barrett and all had a nightmare of a game. But people are saying Dundalk have lost the quality. They haven't, I think they're still up there at the very top. But I think Rovers have just gone that extra step this year. I don't think Dundalk have took their foot off the gas at all. I think with Rovers doing so well, it kind of puts them to shame as such. I think that's what happened the year Cork won the double. I don't think Dundalk were miles off the pace. I think Cork just went to another level. And I think that's all that is this year.
It's hard to tell at the moment, but this could be only seen in hindsight at the end of the season. It's possible that their edge of hunger is slightly off compared to Shamrock Rovers. We can only know that, though, at the end of the season. But it's too early to say that now.
We've seen in this league. Yeah, we've seen in this league. You win one game, you're back up there, you're great. You lose a game, but that's the way it is. Dundalk now could go out and win the next two games, and Rovers could drop points, hopefully next week. But they could drop points in the neck, and then all of a sudden we're back to the way it was, neck and neck. So I wouldn't be jumping to conclusions. I don't think Rovers are going to dominate it. I really don't. going by that performance, which we'll speak about, I don't think they're going on to dominate. I think it will be a lot tighter than people think still.
On to Bowls, though, quickly. As we speak, Bowls are the nearest challengers to Shamrock Rovers. Are Bowls a title contender for you?
Of course, they have to be. They're second in the table. They have to be up there. Look, they're a grounded group. They're a hard-working group. Keith Long isn't in there saying anything about that title. They're going for the next game. You know exactly what you're going to get. They fight for every ball. They win every tackle. And, you know, they're a great side. So I would be fearful, like, if you were Dundalk or Rovers, that they are challengers. Because they have to be.
Before we move on as well, I have to mention this. I thought Twardick absolutely ripped Gannon to shreds. I've never seen Gannon rip to shreds like that. So much so that he was spooked. He really did. I mean, left and right, you know what I mean? He set up more or less the 2 goals, like, you know what I mean, more or less. One of them was kind of the third kind of pass, you know what I mean? But he did set it up. It came from the left wing. But Gannon just seemed, after that, he was afraid of his life of him, to be honest with you. He really was.
Yeah,
I've never seen that Gannon.
Twardick has come on leaps and bounds since he left Sligo. Look, the work Bows do, the recruitment policy they have is top notch. The players that they get in, you know, they know exactly who they're bringing in. They know exactly the job they're going to do, and 9 times out of 10 it works out for them. Twardick's a great player, had a superb game, but like it's not his first good game for Bows either. He's played really well. He's probably one of the standout performers. But I always look at the players that give these players the licenses to play, and the likes of Keith Buckley and stuff like that. Like his job on Friday, I just couldn't take my eyes off him watching him. He was just brilliant. Now I know we got to go. Don't worry about the goal. I'm talking about his defensive work. Like he was fantastic, man to man, and he was winning everything. And you know they're the type of players that Bows are. I'm not saying they're not great footballers.
They're not flashy, is what you're saying. Yeah.
No, exactly. They get the foot in. They make them tackles, and you know, really, really impressed with Keith Buckley. For me, he was the man of the match.
Yeah, it was a very impressive Bowls display overall. And as I said, unlucky not to win by more. Further later on that evening, you were at Inchicore to see St. Patrick beat Finn Harps 2-0. And what I took from this game, obviously Georgie Kelly got 2 goals. I thought it was a workmanlike performance from Pats. The difference is it's someone to put the ball in the back of the net. What did you think overall of the performance of both sides?
Yeah, no, look, it's great for a Pats fan to see that team win at home. Look, we're never going to complain. I don't think it was a game for neutrals though to watch. It was Pats with the ball. And now I'm not saying Finn Harps didn't have a chance. They had 2 or 3 chances in the game, but it was never in question once that first goal went in. It was kind of how many. You know, Kelly could have had 4 or 5. He was really good. Really, I was impressed with him. But I was impressed with Robbie Benson. He looks a little cutback, and you know, he really played well. A little bit disappointed that we
didn't kick on maybe a little bit in the second half.
Sorry.
Didn't kick on a little bit in the second half, maybe.
Yeah, but do we need to? That's another thing. Did we need to? No, we're going to get the 3 points. We just need to see the game out. Look,
game Monday, yeah.
We have a game tonight now in the FAI Cup. That's the important one as well. Like that game was 2-0. Yeah, we made a couple of changes then, changed the team around a little bit, fresh faces. Look, it's madness. That was the 4th. That was the 4th game back already. You know what? Monday, sorry, is the 4th game back. It's tough. They're going to be changing teams, but I think I'm happy with the performance. I'm happy with the whole great.
Just speaking about Georgie Kelly very quickly, apart from the 2 goals he scored, obviously you said he definitely could have had a hat-trick. He was 1-on-1. The keeper came out quickly, McGinley. But his hold-up play, his all-round play was very good as well.
Yeah.
Very strong on the ball, seemed to bring players into the game. I will say this, and I've said this to you a few times before, I still like to see Forrester closer to goal. I don't see the need. When you've Benson and Lennon as an example, Benson can play as well. I don't see the need in Forrester coming back, taking the ball off the central defence. I really don't. If he was closer to Kelly, you feel like he could work off Kelly a bit more. Like I just think, I don't know if that's a Forrester himself or a tactical thing. I'd imagine it's a tactical thing.
Yeah, look, I know, Git and Git was always a left winger for Pats.
Hmm.
We always had him out on the left because the midfield was so strong. But look,
Yes.
he wanted, for 40 minutes out of the paper, he wanted to play in the middle. So he did. He started playing in the middle. Obviously, he started playing a little bit higher because we had the likes of Greg Bulger and stuff like that in the side. So he was doing the sitting job. But Chris is a player that likes to get on the ball. He likes to take the ball and he likes to make things happen. The only way for that to do that is if he drops deep and gets the ball and makes things happen. Yeah, I do agree. I like to see him up front. I don't want to say up front, but I like to see him in a more advanced position. But, like, at the minute, he's playing good football. He is. He's playing football. And look, while he's playing football, we have him playing, and I'm happy with that. You know, he's had an awful lot of issues over the last couple of years, and it's just great to see him back out there. And he does have a smile on his face. And look, if he wants to play centre mid, he can play it. If he's playing goal, if he wants.
On to Finn Harps, Keane. What did you make of their performance? I thought they worked hard. You couldn't deny their work rate, but they look like they're lacking serious quality, and they've lost quite a few games in a row now. They're suddenly down to 9th, level with Cork, by the way.
Yeah, personally, when the first goal went in, it was over. It was curtains, I felt. You could never see them getting back into where Ollie is ranting or raving on the sideline, screaming his head off.
I'd say you could hear nearly every word he said, could you?
Now I know why he used to always get sent off. I always wondered how. Like, nearly every game, he used to always get a warning, but now I understand. Unbelievable stuff. But, you know, Ollie, he's a hard-working side. They fight for every ball, and they did right until the last whistle. They couldn't get near Pats. I honestly, I don't think, it wasn't a game. They didn't get near them at all.
I don't think they had a shot on goal, as far as I'm aware. They'd one little chance where I think Todd went in, but he couldn't quite get there. He was stretching for it.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-0 as well. And apart from that, there genuinely was no threat. They brought in Kotaro at half time, and you know, you're thinking Kotaro has been a great player, but you know, you're thinking if you're bringing on Kotaro, you need a bit more, don't you, at this stage? Let's be honest.
But look, they have the basis of a good side. They need the midfielders to get control of the game. The midfielders ain't getting control of the game. The likes of Connolly and stuff like that. These players can play. McElhenney played in the middle, well, just in front of the back four, you know, and it was a workmanlike performance from them as well. I think they came for a draw. Pats getting that early-ish goal kind of killed that. But
funny, that's happened to them that's happened to them against Shamrock, Rovers and Pats now, where they've conceded a couple of early goals within the first 20 minutes roughly or so. Like, and you know, as you say, Finn Harps are just defend, and if that happens, they just seem to have no answer. You know, that's the issue.
Yeah.
Like, well, you can't just rely on defending, can't you not?
No, but look, I think Harps aren't looking to get points off the likes of Pats and stuff like that. Harps will be looking to win the teams around them. I'm not saying Pats in 2 games time, Pats could be down there. That's the way the league is. But we should be looking at beating. They should be looking at beating the likes of Cork and maybe even your Sligos or such. You know, that's where they need to start picking up the points, because I don't think they're going to pick up the points against the top 4.
Definitely not. On to Waterford and Cork. I should say, actually, your predictions, first of all. We went for Bowls Dundalk, we got no points, basically. Pats, Harps, you got a point, I got a point, because we went with 1-0. Waterford 0, Cork 0. I went for a draw here as well, but I went for 1-1, and you went for Waterford 1-0. So that's a point here for me and none for you. Yeah, it wasn't a great game, let's be honest about it. And do you know what the funny thing is? I've seen a few Cork fans saying, and they weren't saying it was a great performance, but said that was their best performance of the season. And if that was their best performance of the season, my God, they're in trouble. They were kind of lucky enough. Waterford should have had a penalty. For me, that's a Stonewall penalty. I don't know if you've seen it, Keane, but I mean, geez, he 2 hands on the ball. I didn't even need a replay.
No.
I don't understand how none of the officials saw that. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, look, I think everybody's saying that. I jumped up out of my seat.
Yeah, I'm not a Waterford fan. I'm still like, I hear, like, so I can imagine how the Waterford faithful felt about that.
Yeah, no, it was no question about it. But it was an awful game, awful game. It's one that it's like one of these things. Like before I put the game on, I was looking at it and I was like, I think I'm wasting my time here. Like,
I wasn't expecting.
There's not a goal on that pitch. After the first 20 minutes, I was looking, I was like, there's not a goal on that pitch. And that's not disrespect to Waterford or Cork, but like, I honestly couldn't see a team scored after the first 20 minutes. I was nearly falling asleep. It was.
Funny thing is, I think Corey Galvin was Cork's their brightest player, and he went off injured half an hour left or something. I thought Michael O'Connor, looked really rusty. Yeah.
Galvin is by far one of the best players in this league. I honestly think so. Every time he's played against Pats, he has a good game. Anytime I've seen him play against other teams, he has a great game. Like
he
even
hasn't got the pass around them is the issue at the moment.
Like when he was at play and Waterford, he always has a good game.
Yeah.
I was raging, to be honest, when Cork signed him. I thought Pats would have probably got him, because he's a good player.
No, he is a good player. But Michael O'Connor, I thought, looked very rusty. He'd only been back from injury. Maybe it was a mistake to throw him in. I don't know. But, all in all, it wasn't a great game. And I suppose there's not much more we can say about it. Sligo beat Shelbourne 2-1. You must have been sick here because you had it down for 2-0 for Sligo and Deegan scored a late goal for Shelbourne. So you get a point, not 3. I went for a draw. I was wrong. I went for 0-0. The first goal scored after about 30 seconds. And I was watching it going, here, lads. But Devers got a funny goal, hit off his back and went in. Cawley made it 2. Decent enough game. Certainly better than the Waterford Cork game. 6. You were talking earlier about how a couple of wins changes everything. Sligo have no points 2 weeks ago. They've 6 now. Great restart for them, isn't it?
Yeah, look. I did say it. I'm not going to say I said it, but I did say Sligo will be back up there. It's only a matter of time. The football they play, like they don't have the good players. They don't have great players, but they just play this fantastic, attractive football. Like I was watching the game, like David Cawley, he couldn't pass water when he was at Pats. He honestly couldn't. I thought he was awful. But like he has them playing great football. Shelbourne were just. They were missing that little bit of oomph, or they were they're a little bit slow. And like 2-1 was definitely a great scoreline for Shelbourne. I think getting that goal at the end, it kind of makes it look better. But it was never in question once Sligo went 1 up. I know they went 1 up very early, but I just never felt Shelbourne were going to get back into it really.
I'll throw a bit of a stat at you. Whenever Shelbourne have gone behind this season, they've lost. They're a weird team, aren't they? They go in front, they win. Like I know, the first goal is important in games, but you see teams coming back, getting points, getting 3 points. But Shelbourne, they literally, that early goal killed them. It killed their whole game plan. You know what I mean? It's gone, and that's the issue with Shelbourne. They will take points in this league, but I think in the end they'll probably finish around mid-table, which is satisfactory in my view.
Yeah, I said it. Mid-table for Shelbourne would be great. Look. The job Ian Morris has done, I think people need to realise that when he came in, only to start last season, when he came in, Shelbourne were bang average mid-table in the 4th division. Yeah. Here we are talking about them hopefully finishing mid-table in the Premier Division.
People moan about that. You know what I mean? Some Shelbourne fans moan about that, which is a bit. I know they're a big club, but you can't expect them just because of their name that they should be in the top 2 or 3 after they come up. It's ridiculous.
But Shelbourne will be in the top 2 or 3 in the next 2-3 seasons. I honestly think that.
Morris. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, they're a great club. Look, they're doing things the right way. They're consolidating their position in the league. That's all you can really ask for. Performances wise, it hasn't been great. The Waterford game and the Sligo game, obviously, look, and I know they got the win up in Harps, which was a great result for them. I think they needed that. But, it's just, it hasn't been a great restart. It's been stop-start for them, obviously, with the one win. But, look, the win up in Harps is always hard to get. So, the players are trying. You can see it out there on Saturday against Sligo. They kind of huffed and puffed, but I think at the end, Gary Deegan getting that goal, look, it's great. They got the goal. If they got that 5 minutes earlier, they could have easily drawn the game, you know. But look, I think Sligo deserved the win, no question about it. It was great to see them play well, play so good. I love seeing football being played the right way. And
actually looking really forward to seeing Junior in the element of that team as well. Like, you know, that's going to be exciting as well, because they are playing well and with confidence at the moment. And you add him in there, it's going to add a little bit of a sparkle to their side. So I'm looking forward to that too with them.
100%. Like,
yeah, so Cian, on to Derry City and Shamrock Rovers, and this was a typical, you know, they were one down Rovers, right, with 12 minutes to go. Not only did they get something out of the game, but they win it. I've said it before, they've won games this season where they've been brilliant and played sparkling football and been brilliant to watch, but they've won 1-0 at Bows early on in the season, last minute, terrible pitch, dug that out. They dug this one out as well, big time, didn't they? I mean, Figueroa scores for Derry, Horgan OG, which is kind of comical if I'm honest with you. And McAniff with the winner. But yeah, what did you think about it? They really did show the attributes of champions in this match, didn't they?
Game of two halves. Derry were so comfortable. So comfortable. They had the game won up until, I'd say, the 50th minute maybe. Then the toys started to turn into favour of Rovers. I did feel if Rovers were going to score, they were going to win the game. It was that type of pressure they were putting on. Derry kind of just dropped off. Look, we were speaking about Derry 2 weeks ago now. Like we're saying how in the shits they were. Now you're looking at them and look, that was a great performance yesterday from Derry. Look, I know they got beaten, but listen, that was a great performance. And
you have to be very happy with the last two games, considering what we were talking about and what a lot of people were talking about prior to that. Put it that way, like, you know. So, you know.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic performance. It was a good game. I thought Rovers fully deserved the win in the end. I think their second half performance won it. But look, they didn't play great. They won the Brandywell. Look, it takes a good team to win the Brandywell, whether you play good or not. I thought Lopez was brilliant at the back. I really did. I thought he was solid. I think he's the only player to leave Bows for Rovers and actually do well. I think he'd be the only player that, if you were going through them all, I think he's the only one that, like, Dylan Watts is not really in the side.
Certainly in the last 10 years or so, yeah. Probably say so, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, in recent years, when the players leave, they usually come back to Bows or they usually a flop. But I think Lopez has been a great addition at the back. He's building a serious partnership with Lee Grace.
Actually got better, believe it or not, hasn't he? He's improved, actually.
Like he's up there. He has to be up there now with the best in the league. Lee Grace though is just top class. Seeing him play, I know he has blonde hair now, but you see him play and he's great.
Pick him out easier.
I was kind of looking. Jack Bourne kind of played a little bit deeper in the game. Got on the ball. Graham Burke a little bit deeper as well when he came on. No, it was a good performance from Rovers. Look, they were delighted to get the win. Dean Williams, when he came on, great. He that energy, that presence up front. He's only small, but that little presence and that energy and the little runs, like, it was a great header. Now I know it was an own goal, but his header back
when it went in, though. Yeah, exactly.
Header back when it went in off the post, like, it was fantastic header. For the height of him, he got up a decent height as well. But look, the own goal speaks for itself, doesn't it? It's one of them. Look, there's
nothing the defender can do, I might add.
Oh, it's just kind of bounced off the head and went in. Yeah, it was. Look, it was a mad goal, but look, Rovers deserved the win in the end. I thought 2-1. What a result! I won't say what performance, because they were a little bit sluggish in the first half, but look, you went. You can't complain.
And you get 3 points here, Cian, because you predicted 2-1, so well done.
I didn't even know I predicted that till you said it to me, yeah.
I should have said I done that, and you didn't. I said
1-0.
I went 1-0, actually. I got the margin right. There was a few of them where I got the margin right, but I didn't quite get the actual result right. But I get a point there, and you get 3. So on to the first division anyway, and this is one where I got a point, and you got none. Drogheda United 3, Bray Wanderers 1. It was a tough one to call, to be fair. two early goals from Doyle and Clark for Drogheda. McAvoy got one back for Bray, and Meany scored a late one, which cost me 3 points because I went for 2-1. But I don't know if you've seen Clark's goal on social media or anything.
Yeah.
They just what a finish! What skill!
Really good finish. Look, Drogheda be delighted. I kind of feared for Drogheda because Bray were coming into a little bit of form. I thought they could, like we were speaking about, I was saying a shock 2-0, and you were saying, is it really a shock? Probably not. But, you know, I thought Bray, look, they kind of build the fans up and let them down again. I think winning the other night in Longford and then kind of, I won't say round now, but kind of just losing, you know, and it's an up and down season for them. Bray will only finish.
I think that's been one kind of caveat in a way. Form has actually meant nothing coming into the next games. Really,
Yeah.
It's an interesting side note, I suppose. The games, that form literally has gone out the window in a lot of these games. So there is no form as such. Yeah, apart from Shamrock Rovers.
We seen the game back. I watched the game back.
The Drugs game.
Yeah, it was a good game. Drogheda fully deserved the win. I think they bossed the game. I thought obviously Meany played well when he got the goal as well in the last couple of minutes. But no, very impressed with Drogheda. Really,
I think that's the thing as well. I said a few weeks ago that I think the difference with Drogheda, I think they've the bench on everybody else in that league, and you saw it against Rovers B as well. They brought on players that made a difference and scored goals. So I think that could be a big advantage to them as the season draws to a close. We'll see, but in the last two games, I think it has made a difference for them. You know, so yeah, superb result for Drogheda United. We'll move on to Wexford, which was 0-0 against Cobh. I actually went for 1-1, so I get a point here. Just a bit unlucky I didn't get the exact score, and I think you went for a Cobh win. I just had a hunch that Wexford were going to get a draw here, and I've said it before, but their signings have made a serious difference. They're arguably the most improved team in the first division, Wexford, from last year. Actually,
they have to be.
They probably are, yeah.
Yeah, they have to be. Either them, but you look at Cabinteely as well. They've lost some serious players, and yet they're still up there. So I would say Cobh are the best improving considering what they lost. But Wexford, seriously, they have a good chance now if they can keep a bulk of that squad together. Look, they're not gonna be up there towards the end of the season. We all know that.
Bulk of them into next season.
Yeah, exactly.
Suddenly, you know
that's
yourself.
A great point. That's a fantastic point for them to get. You know, it's a tough one because you don't know what you're going to get in the first division. I think Cobh will be disappointed. I didn't get a result considering it's Wexford and not the Flyers, if you know what I mean. Like, people look at the club's name and think, look, we should be beating them. But I think the players they brought in and the work that's being done down there, it's shown on the pitch now. And look, they can definitely fight for promotion spot next year, I think. I think this year is a little bit too soon.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Cobh are actually top at the moment, 13. Drogs on 10. We'll speak about Longford now, who are on 10. So the gap has been closed there. Longford won 2-0 against Athlone. I went 3-1. Again, the margin right and just missed out on the right result.
You went 1-0,
so we both get the same.
I'll take that.
Get a point, yeah. But Sam Verdon got 2 goals for Longford here, and we talked about their firepower, and Sam Verdon is a guy that likes to get a few goals, so I'm not sure if it was a comfortable win. On paper it was, but I didn't see the game, so I can't say it was. I have a feeling it wasn't. But a good win for Longford all the same, because they've had back-to-back results where they haven't won, so they needed that badly, didn't they?
Yeah, great result, 2-0. Look, it's a derby game. They want to win it. Sam Verdon has been at Longford. I know he went to Harps. It kind of didn't work out for him, but he's been at Longford since he left Pats, really. Deserved. He's playing well. He's a good lad. He's a hard worker. I remember him playing for Pats 19s, and we had him up front. Then he started coming into the first team on Pats, and then he started making an appearances and stuff like that. I never felt he was right for Pats. He played an awful lot of games. I just felt Longford is a great spot for him. He can play football. He's guaranteed to start, really. And look, he's really come on, and he's a top 4th division player. 2-0. Happy enough for Longford fans, especially after the last couple of weeks, how the last couple of results have gone. So they will be looking now to cement that spot and hopefully get into top 2.
And no disrespect to Athlone, but they've done reasonably well on that, and it is a derby match. But I would have been worried for Longford if they hadn't won that match. You can't be going 3 or 4 games without winning, can't you? Not with the other
No,
team.
like it's a league again. Like the whole of Ireland is the same. You lose 2 games, you can't see where your next win is going to come. You win 2, you can't see where your next loss is going to come, and that's the way it is. So confidence is a big one there to get that result. Longford now will be needing to kick on. Like they have no choice; they have to, because there's only a number of games left. And they need to get themselves up there.
100%. We'll be talking about them soon again as well. But UCD beat Rovers B3-1. I went for a draw here. You got it right. You went 1-0 UCD, so a point for you. But Rovers didn't play some of the players I thought they might play, so that screwed me a bit. But fair play to UCD. Great result. Whelan, Keeney and Kerrigan with the goals. Alua for Rovers B. And UCD are 4th. They're just behind that batch of Cobh, Drogs and Longford. They're on 9 points, but they could easily sneak into that conversation, couldn't they? We were talking about Bray last week, but now UCD have snuck in front of them. So there's more to it than just Cobh, Drogs and Longford, basically, isn't there?
Yeah. Look, I think anyone on that day can beat anyone in the league. UCD be delighted with that. Look, and pushing them up the table, especially with Bray not getting a result. That gives them an opportunity, but it's hard. It's hard to call. You can't call it. It's nearly impossible what way it's gonna pan out. Like everyone can beat everyone. Like I said, 2 wins or extra could be up there. You know, it's a strange league, and it's going to be tight. I think promotion is going to be going right down to the last day of the season. But UCD will have to be looking at themselves and say, look, there's no reason why we can't be in there. But I think Wexford, Bray, everyone is going to be saying the exact same thing. And not everyone is going to be up there. But I think it's going to be a tight one. It's very hard to call. You could toss a coin on any of them. I'm dreading that now.
Absolutely. Cobh 2, Galway 2, and this was a bit of a mad game. We both went for Cobh, but they went in front. I think it was 63 minutes. Anyway, Charlie Lyons got both their goals, but Vinny Fatterdy put Galway ahead after 81 minutes. No, sorry, he levelled after 81.
Yeah, he levelled, yeah.
Lambusho then put them ahead after 87 minutes, and you're thinking Galway've turned this around, got the 3 points. It's going to be the first win of the season. But no, Charlie Lyons at the last minute made it 2-2. And in the end, another disappointing result from Galway, considering the circumstances. And Cobh will be chuffed with that in the end. Galway just can't get that win at the moment. And every week they can't get that win, it's looking less likely that they're going to be in the promotion conversation, isn't it?
I tried to get the game, tried to have a look at the game. I couldn't get onto it to have a look at it back. But very exciting game. The feedback I'm getting is Cobh are disappointed with the draw.
Really? Yeah.
They fully deserved the win. Look, Vinny, experienced head, popped up with a goal, and then when they go ahead, like Galway, I think probably would have took a draw before the game. They are 2-1 ahead after 87 minutes, and you know you don't want to concede. And I think that they'll be disappointed. They feel like a win for Cobh, but when you put it into perspective, I think Cobh would want to win because the way the game went. Galway will be disappointed to get a draw. Feels like a loss after being ahead in the last couple of minutes, but look, it shows that they're fighting. They need to win the next game now. Like I said, there's no point in getting a point or 3 points on the road if you go home and you don't win.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't won a match yet this season. They really need to win soon because they're going to be in trouble otherwise. We'll move on to the cup games now. Keane with Harps and Pats tonight. I'll just get my prediction out of the way. I'm going 2-1 Harps, 2-1 Pats actually. 2-1 Pats, sorry. Caught you out there for a minute, did I? No,
yeah,
it's a big turnaround, honestly, from Friday to Monday. And I just think Pat's extra squad depth might make a big difference here. Harps, will struggle in that regard, in my view. I think they might play better tonight, but they might just miss out. What are you going for?
Yeah, it's a nervy one. I'm nervous already thinking about it. It's not an ideal situation. Nobody wants to go up to Finn Harps in a cup game and try and win it. Nobody wants to go up to Harps. It's hard to call. Like when you call this, I do it off the cuff. I don't write anything down. I'm gonna go 1-0 Pats. It's gonna be tight. Look, I'm not even gonna say Pats are gonna lose. But I'm going to go 1-0 Pats. I think Pats' quality and the fitness maybe will make it take a toll on it. The work they've done, stuff like that. I'm not saying Finn Harps haven't done work in the lockdown. I presume they have. But I just think Pats should be that extra level higher. That might see them through the game. They might have that little bit extra quality in the likes of Georgie and stuff like that up front. So I'm going for a Pats 1-0. But look, it's going to be a tight game. I can't see any team running away with it. It's one of them. If Finn Harps go 1-0, if Finn Harps go 1-0 up, it's going to be hard to peg them back. And you can't even say, right, we'll take a draw and we'll take them back to Richmond because it has to finish.
Yeah, so, does it go to extra time, I presume? And obviously it goes to penalties, but I presume extra time and penalties, yeah. If that happened, though, I do think the Pats do have an edge when it comes to substitutes and squad depth. That's my opinion on it. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, though. Longford and Cork.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Two teams, I wouldn't say in the greatest bit of form. Well, Longford definitely not in the greatest form. Cork in no form at all. Cork will take heart out of that 0-0 draw the weekend. And obviously Longford will be coming in after winning. So, look, Longford tails are up. If it was in Flanker Park, I'd say I'd nearly tip Longford. Considering it's in Turner's Cross, it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to go for Longford, though. I'm going to go Longford 1-0, but it could easily go to extra time penalties. Because I think there's going to be a goal. I probably don't.
No, I'm exactly the same thought process. I've gone for Longford win 1-0, and it could easily go to extra time penalties, in my view as well. Cork could easily win it 1-0 either. It really is that tight. I don't think any of their new signings that they've made, Simpson or any of the strikers, are available yet because of quarantine and stuff. So, and Corey Galvin is surely out, I'd imagine, after his fall the other day. So that takes away from Cork up front as well. And Longford, you know, in a way, they've nothing to lose. There's less pressure on them than playing in a league match, maybe in the first division. I've gone for them to win it 1-0 as well. Dundalk and Waterford. Now, a few weeks ago, I would have been more sure about this than I am now. That said, I do think Dundalk will win. I think they have to get a win sometime. They do have quality. I've gone for 2-1 Dundalk at Oriel. It's at Oriel, isn't it?
Yeah. This is Dundalk's biggest game of the season. No doubt, they need to stay in the cup. You see the fans after the league performances. Imagine they went out of the cup. But I think Dundalk will win it. I'm gonna say 1-0. It's gonna be tight. Waterford are gonna come there with a game plan. Waterford will want to take it as long as possible. Maybe get one goal and sit back. I don't know. The way I'm thinking is, look, it has to finish. So Waterford aren't playing for the draw. It has to finish. So I think Waterford might come out all guns blazing early on, get a goal and maybe sit back. I think that could happen, but I just think Dundalk will win it.
Flip side, yeah, I agree with you. The flip side is if the longer it goes on and they're level, Waterford might be thinking subconsciously, penalties, you know, we could take them on penalties, you know.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. Dundalk could do with a good start here, to be honest, because I actually funnily thought in the Bowls match quickly that their heads dropped when the first goal went in. Very unusual for Dundalk for their heads to drop. So Waterford were to score a goal here and take the lead, you know yourself, like, you just don't know what's going to happen psychologically. Confidence, it doesn't matter how good a player you are, confidence is a huge thing in football, isn't it? So, you know, who knows there. Yeah, 100%. They're on Tuesday, by the way, Longford Cork, or Cork Longford, I should say, and Dundalk Waterford, and obviously Harps and Pats is tonight. We'll just talk about the European draw quickly. Dundalk will play NK Celje from Slovenia. Probably got that wrong. But that's not an easy tie because Maribor are a team with a decent reputation in Slovenia. They obviously finished second. This team, I looked at them a little bit. They're a very, very young side, an extremely young side. I'm not going to lie, I know nothing about them, but it's not going to be, I don't think it could have been one of the easier draws Dundalk could have got on paper. Looking what I'm looking at, maybe, it's hard to tell. But what do you think of the draw overall? Likely to be an neutral venue.
Definitely not an ideal situation for Dundalk. They probably would want the game at home. that would probably give them half an advantage. But look, it's 11v11. There's no fans. There's no nothing. Match your man, win your battles, and they could easily come out with a win here. I think I do. I hope Dundalk go through. I really do. I hope to get through at least one round. And look, we don't know. It's the one-legged thing. Like if Dundalk are away at home first, you say, okay, keep the score down, keep the tie alive, and we get them back to Oriole. You know, that's their mindset. Nobody wants to lose to an Irish team either because we're so-called pub teams. You know what I mean? If people are looking, nobody wants to go out to an Irish team.
And the fact it's only one leg, Cian, do you think does that change the dynamic a little bit? Does that give Dundalk a better opportunity, or do you think two legs would suit an Irish side better in this circumstance?
I think, personally, it depends, right? It depends on me. If you're at home first, one leg. If you're away, two legs, obviously, because you like to keep the tie alive and get them at home. Yeah. Like, it's horrible. I remember Pats last year, we played North Shopping, and we what was it, 2-0?
Yeah, it was 2-0, yeah.
2-0 in Richmond. All of us are all our flights are booked, not the team. No, we're going. Well, we're going anyway, and we put our performance in away. But if we were away first, you feel a lot more confident bringing it back to Richmond or bringing it back to Orioles, you know, with the fans and stuff like that. Look, we're not in that position. We don't have that anymore.
Funnily enough, Cian, that over the last few years, a lot of the teams in Europe, the Irish teams, their better performances are away from home.
Yes.
Which is curious. That's something I've noticed. Actually, particularly with Pats, I've noticed that with St. Patrick's Athletic, particularly away from home, their best European performances have been generally.
But if you look the way the away goals are set up and stuff like that, teams are more inclined to sit back at home. And I'm not only talking about League of Ireland, I'm talking about, you look in the Champions League, the way it is at the minute.
Yeah, like, the big teams even at times, a little bit.
The big teams sit back at home because they know they get an away goal. That's nearly 2 goals as such, you know, when you're talking like that. And you're saying, like, people are more inclined to sit back at home and go and attack away. And that's just the way the away goal system is set up. And look, I think Dundalk would obviously love to have it in Oriole, but look, it's not an ideal situation. If they get through the tie, fantastic. See how they get on next. But look, what they've done in Europe over the last couple of years has to give them that little bit of confidence, that little bit of boost. And look, there's going to be no fans there. It's going to be 11v11, or I think Dundalk could win it.
They could win. And actually, just before we came on, the draw was made for their next round.
Yeah.
They play Molde or Coops from Finland. Molde from Norway, if people don't know.
Yeah.
And apparently it's in Oriole Park if they get through.
Yeah, with the way it is, could change so quickly, but
yeah, exactly.
they're both on the green list. So look, if that will give them confidence as well, knowing that if they get through this game, they have a game in Oriole in Europe, and look, nobody wants to go to Oriole Park. Like, imagine coming.
You might get a culture shock.
Just imagine coming out from Finland, right? Pulling
up
outside Dundalk. Looking, there's a big train station, then you have a big shed. You know, but that's Dundalk's pitch. They're going to be proud of that. Yeah. I'm not slagging them as such, but what I'm saying is, like, that's their ground. Like people often come over. I've met fans in Richmond, and they're like, "This is somebody's back garden," like, which it is, you know. And like, people, they're so used to playing in, I wouldn't say huge stadiums, but bigger stadiums.
For example, Molde Stadium is pretty good in Norway, I must say. I'm not sure about Coops, I haven't seen them, but I imagine it's half decent.
Yeah, so look, they're coming for it.
Is that facility and that. I was looking at the Slovenian side, by the way, as well. They sound like a small club in Slovenia, but it's 13,500 their capacity.
Yeah.
This is the difference, isn't it?
Like, that's what you get, and I think that's why, you know, people are coming to, when Pats and Dundalk over the years have gone to Tally. Obviously, it's a huge disadvantage, I feel. But not only that, the away team's coming in. I said it before, they're coming in, they're looking, they're saying, yeah, this is nice. So I'm happy here, I can play here. They're not in Richmond Park when they're that far away from the pitch and the fans are on their back. You know, it's a strange one. Oriole is the exact same. Dundalk will feel comfortable playing at home. They know the pitch, they know everything. The fans will make a huge difference, though. But that's for both teams. So look, we don't know what's going to happen, but it'll give them confidence if they were to get through this one that they do have a home game.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, Keane. We'll leave it there, I suppose, and we'll be back on what day is today, Keane? Today's Monday.
Today's Monday, yeah.
Yeah, today's Monday. So we'll be back on Friday for our predictions for the weekend's football, and we might look back at some of the cup games as well. So lads, like, subscribe, and we'll see you again. Thanks very much.